Well, alright lads, welcome back. This is my 1983 Volvo 240 station wagon. And I'm trying to put the new engine in for the last time. Engine is a Vortec 4200 from a 2007 Envoy. Transmission is a 6-speed manual from a Nissan Frontier. And this is a spare 4200 that I have because I'm going to be mocking up the oil pickup tube. I haven't made the pickup tube yet. I finished the pan a long time ago. I just haven't gotten around to doing the pickup tube, and I want to get all that done before I put the engine in, so let's work on that. The oil pan is a Chevy Colorado 5-cylinder oil pan, and then I just extended it to be 6 cylinders. The pickup tube is a rear sump 5-cylinder tube. And then I do have the factory tube here, so what I think I'm going to do is Frankenstein this together, probably cut this off here somewhere, and then extend this back. Put a little mark right here on the block where the bottom of the sump of the pan is going to be. So I know that I need to have the pickup portion behind that line. So that would be right here. I need to have the pickup probably in this spot right here. This stock tube I'll probably end up just cutting right here, right before the bend. And then I might have to cut a little bit of the flat spot out here to get a little bit more length. But I'll chop this here, and then probably take this out just to connect it. And we'll see what that looks like. Okay, so looking at this sump here, it's about 6 inches deep. The deepest point is about 6 1/4. All the way in the back is probably 5 5/8, something like that. I'd say 6 on average, 6 1/4. So I think what I'm going to want to do is go to about 5 inches deep, 5 1/8, 5 1/4 maybe inches deep. So I have about 3/4 of an inch from the pickup to the bottom. I think that would be appropriate. And because this mamma jam is so deep and that has kind of a weird angle, I think what I'm going to want to do is keep this one, move it over. I'll probably take this edge, this is about 2 inches here, cut that down so it's shorter, and I can still keep this bend. And then I'll be able to use all the straight sections to cut out of here to extend this all the way back to where I need it. Okay, so I have a lot of these pieces trimmed up and sanded down here so I can start to piece them together. I have the main portion here. I'm probably just going to go through with the TIG welder and start to tack these on. I do have several other pieces that are made just to extend this guy out, and then eventually I'm going to swing it over into this piece here and probably have this angled back a little bit to match the angle of the pan, and then I'll have to build some kind of a bracket to hang it up. So I'll get started with that. Oh, well, that sucked. I had it on scratch start on accident. I wasn't expecting that. So that's right at 6 inches. What I might do is take this spot and actually flip it down.
Support on it. So it's not flimsy.
Yep, that's right. I gotta make this a little bit lower too, so I think I'm gonna break it off right here, and then I'm gonna put a little angle on it so it comes down a little bit more. Alright, so I think I'm at a pretty good spot with this thing now where I want it to be. I did end up having to cut the front down a little bit also because it was standing up too high and was still hitting the pan. So chop that, kind of rolled it forward a little bit, and I have what I feel like are good dimensions here. I have it about 3/8 from the bottom of the pan. I know I said I was going to shoot for 3/4 before, but it's about 3/8, like 1/4 inch to 3/8. And I have it angled backwards at 7.5 degrees in relation to this plane here. So 2.4 to 5, that's about 7.5 degrees. And we're pretty much almost the same thing here, 2.5 to about 5. So it's a 7.5 degree angle. So now I'm just going to go ahead and then weld this thing up completely and then weld a bracket to bolt it on. I do have to fill in a little bit of a gap there, so I got to cut a piece for that. Okay, so here's the finished product, and I did test fit the oil pan. It does fit. Everything looks okay. So I'll test fit the oil pan on camera here and show you what it looks like. And I know it seems like a lot of messing around, but this is the type of stuff that I started this project for. I wanted to be able to, build things and do something different that I was used to. So seems like a lot, but I'm enjoying this part. Pan goes on nice, doesn't hit anything. Hopefully it works. I think I'm more concerned about the pan leaking from some of the warping from welding the pan, but hopefully this won't be that bad, or I'll be able to get enough sealer in there to make it not leak like crazy. Yeah, and I did go ahead and throw a 10AN bung on the passenger side where the turbo is going to be, just for the turbo drain. And I just welded it all on the inside, so just buzzed around that quick and made that. Alright gentlemen, slight change of plans here. I'm not going to get this back in now. I bought one of these gaskets, like the pickup tube gasket. It's going to be here in a few days. Didn't really plan ahead for that or assume that I'd be able to get it locally or sooner. And I don't have that, so I'm not going to throw it in. I kind of want to put the oil pan on with it out of the car because I want to make sure I get a good seal on it. So I would like to do that before I put it in. So I'm going to wait till this gasket comes and then I'll put it in.